Hey, let's get right into it. Today we're going to decode a really specific and, let's be honest, often painful language, the language of narcissism. Now, understanding these words and tactics isn't just some intellectual exercise. No, it's a tool. It's a powerful tool for recognizing what's happening, for setting boundaries, and most importantly, for reclaiming your own reality. So let's dive in.
Oof. Does that one sound familiar? I bet it does for a lot of you. This single sentence, it's one of the most powerful and sneaky weapons in the narcissist's arsenal. It's designed to make you question everything you thought was true. And you know what? It's the perfect way for us to start breaking down how this whole manipulation game works. Let's start at the very beginning of the relationship.
You see, before all the control and confusion kicks in, there's almost always this period of intense idealization. It's this picture-perfect illusion, a carefully built trap designed to get you emotionally hooked and fast. So how do they do it? Well, there are two key tools they use to build this trap. Okay, so first up is love bombing. And what's so tricky about love bombing is just how strategic it is. This isn't just about being sweet or romantic. It's an overwhelming flood of attention that creates this powerful, almost addictive emotional bond. This whole phase is about building a deep reserve of positive memories that the narcissist will use later on, making it so much harder for you to walk away when things start to go bad. And that brings us to the second part of the trap, mirroring. This is where they become a perfect reflection of you. All of a sudden, you've met someone who shares all your weird, niche interests, who gets your deepest fears, who has the exact same goals in life. It feels like destiny, right? Like you found your soulmate. But it's actually a calculated tactic to build a false sense of trust and get you to let your guard down. So once you're hooked by all that love bombing and mirroring, the dynamic starts to shift. The script gets flipped. That language of adoration, it gets replaced by a language of control. So now let's get into the core plays in the narcissist's playbook. And here we go. This is such a classic line. It's a subtle but really powerful way to invalidate you, to tell you that your feelings just don't matter. This is where they really start chipping away at your sense of reality. See how your reaction becomes the problem, not their behavior? It's a classic switch.
And gaslighting, well, that's the engine that drives phrases just like the one we saw. The whole point here is to make you feel unstable. By constantly denying reality, they make you feel so insecure and confused that you literally start to believe you can't trust your own judgment anymore. You become totally dependent on their version of what happened.
Here's another cornerstone phrase. Just notice the complete and total refusal to take any personal responsibility. Their anger, their mistakes, their bad moods, somehow none of it is ever their fault. No, it's always a direct result of something you did or something you didn't do. And that's exactly what we call blame shifting. It's a simple, but man, is it a brutally effective tactic. It doesn't just get the narcissist off the hook for any wrongdoing, it also dumps this huge burden of guilt on you, making you feel responsible for managing their emotions and their behavior. Now, this one can be so disorienting, it'll make your head spin. You might just be asking for a simple boundary or questioning something they did, and bam! Suddenly you're the one being accused of the very thing they are doing. It's this classic reversal that just leaves you feeling completely confused and on the defensive. This tactic has a name. It's called projection, and really it's a defense mechanism. It allows the narcissist to keep up their perfect self-image. So instead of admitting that they have a flaw, like being controlling or dishonest, they just project that quality onto you. It keeps their sense of being flawless totally intact. Okay, so you might think this is all happening in a vacuum, just between you and them. But the manipulation often doesn't stop there. To keep control and to isolate you even more, narcissists will often expand their network. They basically start recruiting an army to enforce their version of reality. Triangulation is a key move right here. They might constantly compare you to an ex-partner to make you feel insecure. Or maybe at work, they'll go to your boss with some concerns about you just to undermine your reputation. By bringing a third person into the mix, they create all this drama and division, and it puts them right in the middle, pulling all the strings. And this brings us to the idea of flying monkeys. Yes, like from The Wizard of Oz. These are the people the narcissist recruits to do their dirty work. Their job is to spread gossip, to deliver messages, and to back up the narcissist's warped reality. This just isolates the victim even more and makes you feel like you're the crazy one. So, who exactly becomes a flying monkey? Well, they tend to fall into a few different camps. You have the willing, who kind of enjoy the drama, maybe they even have some narcissistic traits themselves. Then you have the naive,
who just believe the one-sided story they're being fed. And then there are the unwilling, who are basically forced into it. They go along out of fear or guilt, worried they might be the next target.
Now, it is so important to understand that not all narcissism is loud and grandiose and obvious. There are these hidden forms that can be way harder to spot. And there's also a pretty big bias in how it's diagnosed.
So let's talk about the covert narcissist. Instead of boasting and bragging, they might use passive-aggressive sighs or constant eye rolls, or they'll play the victim to manipulate you. They still have that core sense of superiority and that lack of empathy, but it's hidden under this layer of vulnerability or introversion. It makes them incredibly difficult to identify.
Now, get this. According to the DSM-5, which is the official manual for psychiatric diagnoses, up to 75% of people diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder are men. But hold on, does that really mean women are less narcissistic? Or is there something else going on here? And this really gets to the heart of the issue. A lot of research suggests there's a major gender bias in the way we diagnose this stuff. The checklist for NPD is just full of traits that society has traditionally linked with masculinity, like dominance and aggression. So what does that mean? It means the quieter, more vulnerable types of narcissism, which some studies show might be more common in women, are often completely overlooked or misdiagnosed. Okay, so knowing the playbook is one thing, but what in the world do you do about it? Let's end this explainer by shifting gears and talking about the counter playbook. Clear, real steps you can take to get your reality back. All right, here are the key steps. First, you have to spot it. Just being able to name the manipulation in your head, oh, that's gaslighting, or yep, that's blame shifting, it takes away so much of its power. Second, set firm boundaries and, this is the hard part, enforce them. Third, if you can, limit or even cut contact. Fourth, and this one is so important, learn to trust your gut again. Narcissists need you to doubt yourself. And finally, number 5, seek support. Having a solid network of friends, family, or a good therapist is absolutely crucial to validate what you went through and to help you heal. And really, that's what this all comes down to. You can't counter a strategy you don't even understand. By learning to recognize these tactics and these phrases, you're arming yourself with clarity. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know the plays, which one are you going to be ready to spot first?